there's like this thing. It's rotating.
Why did it downward treasured sites in Christianity?
All right. Well, welcome to Goof On, everybody. It is March 14th, Monday, 2022. It still is, right? Yep. For another 9 months, 8 months, 1 week, something like that. 8 months, 2 weeks. It doesn't matter. It's Monday. You're here. I'm here. And we're all here. It's really Tuesday now, if you come to think about it. You know, it just... You know what I didn't know? And I'm very confused by this. It was daylight savings time yesterday. I thought the clocks changed. Mine didn't. At all. Is it today? Because I thought we were going to go from East Coast to West Coast, Florida or New York to California was 3 hours. I just spent the last 10 minutes checking this out. It's still 3 hours? All I know is it was 7:45 today, and the sun, it was like it was still up, but it wasn't. It was going down, but really bright. I don't know. All I know is 2 days ago, 3 days ago, at 7:45, it was dark out. Today it was light. I'm a little confused. Maybe. I don't know. Well, I hope you had a good weekend. We had a good weekend here at Goof On. It was a lot of fun with the ANJALI story. Stephen and from Truth Seekers came on last night for a couple of hours, and I had a great time, man. He and I have some good... I don't know what it is, but it works, you know, and he's a funny guy, and I appreciate that kind of humor. And when Lou had to go run to the bathroom, and we see him running past the mirror when he was at home, when Cahill and him were in the same house having an interview, it looked like Lou was pulling his pants off already, having to go to the bathroom. You see him run. That was awesome. That was fun. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. But, time keeps a ticking into the future. And one thing that never stops, even though time it's a construct of man, doesn't really exist. Believe it or not, it doesn't. We need time to keep us in an order, in a fashionly order, just so we can measure things and calculate how long things take and how little things take, and the year, the month, the days, the seconds, the minutes, the hours. All that stuff means, well, we're getting older. But doesn't mean we have to feel it. You know what I mean? It's a number. I almost said folks, people. And one of us just happened to get older today. And I'm really proud of this person. Yeah, because you can't tell. Another year went by. Hey, you know what I mean? It's one of those. Yeah, I think this person just is timeless. And who am I talking about? Well, you're going to join me in a happy birthday song to Damien from Black Lotus Productions. Happy birthday. Ready? Come on, everybody. Happy birthday to you. Come on. Happy birthday to you. Come on, everybody. Happy birthday. Lotus Productions. Happy birthday to you, everybody!
From good friends and true.
That's us!
From old friends and new.
That's you!
May good luck go with you.
From all of us to you. Happy birthday to you. Whatever else happens in this song. Congratulations, another year and no other tear. Just forget about the number and just be you. Happy birthday, Damien. From those of us here at Goof On Lives, Goof On News, and everything else, we wish you a long and happy life. We'll see you next year. Bye-bye. Yeah, man. Good. A little birdie told me. I didn't know it was your birthday, but we do that here every now and then. We have a little fun, and it's okay in ufology to have fun. Some people are afraid to sing happy birthday. Oh, no. Happy birthday. That wouldn't mean you're credible if you're singing. You're not credible if you're singing on a UFO channel. That's what makes Goof On special. Capiche? Capiche? Roll call, everybody. John Hintz, welcome to the show. Moonlight, welcome to the show. Eric81872, welcome to the show. The Gorilla Gamer, welcome to the show. Marie Jose Sproul, welcome to the show. Big Fat Creep, hey man, how you doing? Good to see you back. Caleb Benjamin, welcome to the show. Murder Hornet returns, welcome to the show. The Sixth Sense, welcome to the show. Coral Ann, welcome to the show. Mike Geometria, what's up, Chief? Welcome to the show. Walt Corbin here. There you are. Welcome to the show. Felicia, the beautiful one, Flores, welcome to the show. Crystal Carasale, welcome to the show. Good to see you back. Helen, Crystal Energy, I can feel it. Calling in the air at night. Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. And I remember. IR Films here. Welcome to the show. Lisa M. Oh, look at that, Chicago. That is great. I like a girl who changes her hair every now and then. That's a good picture. Welcome to the show. Carl Ann again. Paula Faust. Welcome to the show. Good to see you. I like your glasses, by the way. Thin frames like that with the thick sides. Good look. Tracy Kane, welcome to the show. Randall Hill speaks. Changing the name, changing the fame. Welcome to the show. Denbup. What's up, man? Who's at the front door? Don Mofo made it. Mr. DB Cooper 77's here. Welcome. Lee Guy, the Baconator, snuck through that front door. How you doing there? Frapsep. What's up, man? JH, welcome. I think we're good. Greg Cruz won. Welcome. And don't want to forget our good friend, Star Galactic Federation. Everybody, welcome to the show. If I didn't say hi, doesn't mean I don't love you. It means I just can't get to everybody. Big Bob Little M, what's up? Kimberly Markle Silva. Is that a different name? Did you change a name in there? JK. Aw, thank you. Hey, great profile picture. I think you scooped me up in that beam right there. Welcome to the show. Mike Torana. What's up, man? How you doing? Welcome to the show. I think the first time. I'm not sure. Hope you enjoy what we have to offer today because it's going to be a little different. Lord Ludacris, what's up, brother? All right. Now we're good. We're good. Carrie Rose. What's up, Carrie? Good to see you. Always looking nice in that picture. All right, so what we're doing tonight is a little different, not much, but I want to go back in time because watching Lou on CURT JAIMUNGAL's show today, because it was live 2 days ago or yesterday or whatever, but it went up today. It was edited a little. It seemed like a little more than usual, but there's a part of that I want to play. Just because, not picking on anybody, nothing like that. It's just interesting to me that there's this vision that Lou has of ufology right now, and I don't know where it's coming from. I think we've got little birdies in his ear nipping at his earlobes and saying, did you know, 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 did you know? And he's like, I didn't know, didn't know, had no idea that all these people are out to get me. Well, news break. Nobody's out to get you. We're out to get your narrative corrected. You may be doing that on yourself, being that you have changed your narrative quite a bit. But that's because you're a government guy. And I'm talking directly to Lou. Lou, you're a government guy. Nobody's going to trust you. You're counterintelligence. Nobody wants to trust you. Only your closest friends, people that know you and have talked to you personally one-on-one, may know you that way. You may have disclosed things to your closest friends that you didn't disclose to the rest of the public. That's why you have what you have around you. People who don't know, because you're manipulating everybody, I think. And I think you're having a good time. That's what counterintelligence does, right? You even said it. It's like a chess game, and you don't like losing. And I don't like hearing that you don't like losing, because it doesn't mean you're right. Now, your narrative has changed a little bit over the years, but not much. You got rid of the threat assessment. We no longer hear the threat. Why? Because you got the AOI MSG room, which really was a failure on your part to not get that room to be more transparent. Now that it's in the old room and going by the old laws of ATIP, well, it's ATIP reborn. So who you tricking? Nobody. Nobody. Only those who lick your boots and want to be your friend. I don't want to be friends. I'd rather be acquaintances, because I don't need somebody who's sneaking around, pulling background checks on people, giving them to other people in the community. Yeah, we think you're doing that, just like you think Greer's paying me and everybody else who's attached to Goof on Third Phase and everybody else. That's what we think. You think the whole world's out to get you. Why? Because that's usually somebody who's paranoid because they don't want to get caught doing what they're doing. It's kind of like the jealous, or in a relationship you have somebody who always thinks you're cheating, and usually it's because they're cheating, right? Well, you think everybody's pulling a fast one because you're pulling a fast one. But you have to. You're paid to. Speaking of which, if you want to help support the show, PayPal, Cash App, and Super Chat, Super Sticker, become a patron, whatever. It's up to you. That's how we survive. That's all I'm saying. I'm going to play this clip. I've got a lot of clips tonight. And then after I play this, I'm going to get to work on what we're going to be mainly focusing on tonight. And that is Art Bell, his sighting that he had. A lot of people have never heard what I'm about to play for you. All of these are Third Phase of Moon interviews with Art Bell, Edgar Mitchell, and Stanton Friedman. I'm not going to play the whole thing because it's 45 minutes long, but we're going to listen and digest and dissect and compare, because you're going to be shocked when you hear what they say. Shocked on what they say, especially Stanton Friedman, which we'll save for last. Hey, where's that Lou clip? There it is. No, it's not her. Did I not put it up here? I know I did. Oh, yeah, it's way over here. Damn it. Nope, that's not it. Oh, for those of you who saw the ANJALI thing, have you heard what she's doing right now? Check this out. This is unbelievable what I saw on the internet. She has gotten into an amazing mode of no quit. She's not giving up. Here she is.
all gym bros should be.
No. Get back there, right now. You are gonna pull until you get that up. Just keep on pulling, you got this. Let's go. Let's go, Anjali.
Come on, Anjali.
Oh, I had it.
Go.
You had it.
They made me try it again even though I had zero faith in myself.
Here she is, Anjali.
Without them, I would have just given up.
Wait.
Go, Anjali. Look, you can even see the gray hair. It's her.
Without them, I
Wow,
would have never
190
gotten it
pounds.
up.
Amazing. Thank you, Anthony Da Vinci, with a $5 super chat with no chat, no sticker, just plain rolling it up for me and throwing it into the dart. Thank you. Oh, chocolate mint. It's a good one. Not my favorite. Thank you. And because you're the first super chatter tonight, thank you, AD, for the $5 super massive super chatter. Grazie. Mucho gusto, generoso. Continuing supporter of GoofOn. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it. Mucho gusto. So let's get this together. Oh, the clip. Here we go. I don't know where it is. Oh, here it is. Okay. We're going to use fair use as we usually do. Let's stop that. Share the screen, hit the audio, hit the screen, share, and go.
Taking videos, pictures, and whatnot. I think being informed, arming yourself with knowledge and information, and yes, that it may seem contradictory, but it requires talking to people, and by the way, formulating your own opinions as a result of that. Okay, don't take somebody else's opinions.
Yeah. Oh, hey. Don't take anyone else's opinions. Formulate your own. But we're not allowed to. Or else we're deemed trolls. I was in the chat room today, right? When that show was live. And I was just making comments, nothing mean, but, a little sarcasm. Oh, hey, don't worry about the trolls, everybody. And I'm like, so anybody who disagrees or has another opinion is a troll. Unreal. Yeah, shut people up. Tell you that. 2,100 people were watching live. I was like, that's beautiful.
And understanding the playing field, who's legitimate, who's not, what are the motivations, and by
who's legitimate and who's not, and what are the motivations? What makes somebody legitimate in this field? When they make predictions about TTSA, when they make predictions about Lou, when they make predictions about the deflate, when they make predictions about Skinwalker Ranch and the owner and everything else that goes with this field, and the person making the predictions is usually right. How are they right? Well, it's because that person is seeing patterns over the last 2 decades. What makes somebody legitimate? Is Lou legitimate? Honest to God, is he? That's it. That's all I'm saying. Is he, and why is he? Just because he came from the government, came from ATIP, supposedly, makes him automatically trustworthy? This is what I didn't like when he first came out. He'd never been in the field before. He came from the government, still. Made a lot of big statements. Nothing came true, because what this guy touches turns to shit. And he's about to ruin everything that is our future in ufology. Why and how? Well, We'll have to find out. Well, I think he is, only because what good is Lou inside of the Galileo project? Why does he need to be there? Why? Why not just fill it with legitimate science guys and all this other shit? Oh, yeah, Lou has 2 degrees in science. Well, whatever. Whatever. I'm talking, what has he done lately? I don't think he needs to be there. He's a government shill. Avi Loeb is being swindled, I think. I think him and Mellon, even Nick Pope, who probably might be a part of it. I don't know if he has the cojones to do something that Lou would tell him to do that was nefarious and lie to the people. But you never know. Money talks, bullshit walks. We'll see what happens. But this guy has done very little for ufology. Stop right there and don't yell at me for that. Other than getting mainstream media to talk about it on a daily to weekly basis last year. Last June 25th. That's it. After that day, very little to nothing on mainstream media. So if you think, because I said this, I go, we got 5 years of ufology and mainstream media in 1 year. That's how much UFOs were all over the mainstream media. Now, dead. Dead. The AOIMSG office, who gives a shit, really? We knew that was going to be a nothing burger anyway. Yeah, but they have to, bring by law everything they find. And pilots they can easily tell their bosses that they, saw a UFO and they're not going to get fired or reprimanded or fly a desk. No. That may be the only thing that's different, is that now pilots cannot be fired for calling in a UFO report, submitting a UFO report.
By certain organizations and people that may be involved in this topic. Why do some people have the opinions that they do?
Why do some people have the opinions that they do? Why don't you come on this show? Because now I've asked Lou twice to come on. No reply. So now I've put it out there. I want you to come on here. You said you'll talk to other shows. You'll talk to anybody. You're not avoiding the other side. Oh, yeah. You only talk to John Greenwald and Mick West. Greer, me, Third Phase. People who've been in the field a lot longer than you may want to hear and ask questions, hear answers that you haven't given yet. Want to see how you react. We want to watch your body language. We want to see you rubbing your hands like this when you get nervous or stuttering and stammering around trying to come up with something. NDA! My NDA! I can't talk about it! Woo! Haha, you almost got me, Rich.
Maybe... it's hard for me to say because you're asking people to teach themselves. And they say, okay, well, teach me how to teach myself. Well, then again, if I do that, then we fall into the same, pit we did last time where I'm teaching you what to think and not how to think. And so I don't want to be overly prescriptive. Just be curious, be yourself, ask the questions. It's okay to ask the questions.
Because he won't answer him. It's okay, but I'm not going to answer him. Ask all you want. Not going to answer.
I think be fearless in your pursuit of knowledge.
So I'm fearless, and he's pushing me down. Calling us terrorists, basically. I don't negotiate with terrorists. Greer and all of his constituents that are on the payroll. God, I wish. If you were on his payroll, would you say? No, but I'm not. Anybody knows that. I'm on Third Phase of Moon's payroll. Nah, yeah, I'm joking.
and also have the courage to question people, including myself, including Sean, including you, including everybody. Questions aren't bad. Questioning is good. Now, disrespect and attacks, no, that's not. That.
Oh, shh. Could hear a pin drop. Disrespects and attacks. I know what I said about Lou, but that was after he said shit. Okay? I never initiated. I always react. And I've always been that way from day one because that's how I protect myself. Okay? I don't attack people. I never do. I'm not a troll. I don't go out and create havoc on Twitter and other people's chat rooms. And I'll say shit and be sarcastic, but I get out of there usually in 10 minutes. I don't sit there the whole show. I don't even get banned on a lot of shows. Because I'm not doing anything wrong. But this guy he's doing what ANJALI did last night. Or 2 nights ago, whenever she was on. When was it, last night? She hung up on Steven when he got a little loud and called her out on shit. She got a little frazzled. And then she goes on Twitter and says, I will not be disrespected and yelled at. Unprofessional. Please. But it's okay for her to interrupt Steven and talk sarcastically. So it's okay for Lou to say, I want to take these people out behind the barn and really show them what the truth is. Basically, I'm paraphrasing. We all know what Lou said about Greer. We all know. See, we react. I do anyway. I don't come out. And when I said, get the fuck out of my ufology, I meant it. I feel like this is my home. Almost 20 years in and out of the field, but 1 year I left. Big mistake. I should have never left. But I did. Had to start over. But that's okay. When they switch it around and make it like it's our fault, let me tell you, that's dirty. Do as I say, not as I do, Lou.
That's not ever something that should be supported or condoned. Sadly, it is.
If you're going to ask somebody a question about their opinion, make damn sure you know what yours is first, and be willing to state it and stand behind it, and be willing to change it if the other.
What's with the hand on the neck? What has he got? A goiter? Does Cahill have a goiter?
Person's opinion, and their data changes yours.
Anyway, it is what it is. We all know what's going on. The frustration about the topic. That's this segment. This is like a 3-hour.
Or is looking to learn, I guess. So
I would also say be prepared to challenge the hucksters and the fraudsters and the liars.
We are! We're challenging the hucksters, the fraudsters, and the liars. You! Oh, God. I'm done. That's it. Let's move on. I'm done. Done. No more. Forget that guy. You're right. Let's move on. Let's move on. Thank you. What's this? Holy, check your email. Frapsap? That's a $50 super chat. I got it. I got that. Didn't I say great job or whatever? I thought I emailed you back because I saw that when I was at the gym. Rich, check your email. I sent you timestamp evidence. ANJALI is scrubbing her story as it's imploding. Obvious jump cut edit. TT Productions press conference at Lincoln Memorial where she mentioned tall whites, typical backpedal and revise history. Yeah. All right. We'll definitely do that now. Here it is. I got it right here. So you said just go to... Since news broke about ANJALI's story imploding, I wanted to send you the exact timestamp in the official video of her press conference where they've deleted out tall whites as she described the race of beings she interacted with in her cave. This is what I was trying to indicate when I popped in with you guys on with Truth Seekers last night, but my headset was getting feedback, but I couldn't jump in properly with this discovery I found. I thought it would be important detail to show how she's trying to backpedal and scrub her story. She can't do that. Everybody's got the original somewhere. Hope you can use this on GoofOn. Yeah, oh yeah, I'm gonna. Well, we all can. 2948, she starts describing the two races she claimed to have encountered inside the tunnel. She's condescending in the phenomena community, mentions the grays, and looks around for recognition. Then, when she goes to the name, the second race of beings, between 3050 and 3051 mark, there's a very obvious jump cut in the footage where she originally said tall whites. It's completely edited out now. Ha ha ha, like we wouldn't notice it. What is she trying to hide all of a sudden? She must have studied the neo-Nazi Adamski-Meyer playbook for sure, and now she's ashamed of her association to the blonde Nordic beings BS. So let's go to 2948, and then about 12 seconds we'll see a jump cut. So let me pull it up. 2948, here we go. 2948, 39. I'll give it a 10-second lead in. So here we go in 5, 4. Thank you, FrapSap. Hold on to the super chats for a minute while I play this. 5, 4, 10 seconds till we get in there. Go. Okay, 2948.
There were two different races of beings that were standing there.
3 seconds. 2, 1.
There was a gray.
Right here. Where's the cut?
I do not believe.
I didn't see it. I didn't see it. Hold on a second. You said there was one. I'm reading what you said. You said at 3050. Sorry, my bad.
That were standing there. There were also
12 seconds.
several other beings that were what we typically, now I understand, call in this community the phenomena community.
Phenomena. Oh, there it is. Ah. Watch the way she says phenomena.
We typically, now I understand, call in this community the phenomena community.
Boop. Nah. Anjali, Anjali, Anjali. She's done. Thank you, FrapSap. That was freaking amazing. And thank you for this $50 super chat. What was the next one? I thought there were... Oh, thank you, Louise Mitchell. And your beautiful hair. Thank you so much. Oh, 20 freaking pounds. Holy macadamia nuts. Thank you very much. Wow. Well, look, it's perfect. No writing, no emojis, no stickers, just pure. She rolled it up and, ooh, that was a slower one, but I got it. Thank you. Put this one right here. I'll eat it later. Oh, what are you doing? Oh my goodness. Louise. Okay. Again, no sticker, no super chat, emoji. It's the best. And I think there's another one. No. There is one more. You had 3 total. Right? Am I missing it? There's 1, 2. Yeah, 3 total. There it is. That's the third one. Okay, thank you very much. Wow, you guys, that's 50 from FrapSap. and 50 from Louise Mitchell, which you gotta get one of these. Thank you and your beautiful hair, Louise Mitchell, with $50 super chat. Super good. I know this takes too long, but I can't help it. Mucho gusto, generoso. Thank you, and you're definitely a continuing supporter of Goof On. It's so weird to say Goof On still after all this time. I hate the name. Thanks, Louise Mitchell. Wow. All right. We're going to get to the meat and potatoes of the show here. So check this out. I had to get a new credit card. Yep. My credit card was hacked. Somebody tried buying music on iTunes. Like 10 songs and a couple of albums. Yeah. So they're sending me a new card. Unbelievable. And I see we got a PayPal from Marie Jose Sproul. It is a $2.51 PayPal support. Thank you very much, Marie Jose Sproul. Sproul, see? It's Marie Jose Sproul, see? Thank you very much for the super chat. PayPal. Grazie. Mucho gusto, generoso. Oh, that's right. Yeah, we got the buy me a coffee thing now. Yeah. All right, let's get to work now. So we saw ANJALI getting ready. She's getting in shape now. We saw her deadlift 195 pounds. Unbelievable, right? I'm going to do something a little early tonight and get this into your mind. Okay, hold on. I don't know what's going on tonight.
If the crash retrievals are true, then all bets are off.
It's very hard for people to get their minds around where the real power is. And it's not at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. The reality is something much more stark.
They've been working on this for 60, 70, perhaps 80 years.
The reason why the government is talking about these UFOs now, they're getting ready for the next level of war.
Are these objects a national security concern?
They're proffering a narrative of a national security threat that doesn't exist.
I call them alien reproduction vehicles. They're made by private corporations somewhere on this planet.
Technology from Roswell from 1947 has largely been held back from us.
Portal technology, teleportation, whatever you can imagine, it's already been done.
The biggest secrets are not the zero-point energy and electrogravitics. It's the science of consciousness. All their communication systems are moving through the consciousness field and are thought actuated. The people at the CIA call it WSFM, weird science and frickin' magic. The transdimensional interstellar technology will benefit humanity.
There has been tremendous disinformation.
The media is keeping secrets with the government.
These are lethal, vicious people. And I'm focused on exposing the extraordinary technologies that they want to keep secret. No aspect of life on Earth will be unaffected by it.
Above Top Secret will be out on all streaming services April 5th. And there's some things that are developing behind the scenes that I'm not privy to. I just know something big might be happening. That's it. I didn't want to know. And I don't think I was going to be told. because it's that important. I don't want to accidentally spill the beans because I do a lot of talking over here. So you never, ever want to take that chance with me. And, but it'll be worth it. I imagine what's happening is huge. But anyway, I grew up listening to Art Bell, as I did Howard Stern and a bunch of other people. But Art Bell was a huge influence to me, for me, with me. And it's because when I found Art Bell, it was late in the game. It was in 2004, believe it or not. And I consider that growing up. Yeah, I was only 36, I think. But when I found Art Bell, I went through all the archives. I listened to as much of his stuff as possible. And he's magical. I don't know what it is about Art Bell, but he's a magic man behind the mic. You know, once in a maybe lifetime, as we know, a lot of people try to emulate that and failed. Because you can't be somebody you're not. Art Bell was somebody who he always has been himself. And if you try to emulate what he did, you know, it's fine. You may have some structure, but he had it. And I'm going to play you something from several years ago that is from Third Phase of Moon, interviewing him, as well as the last interview Edgar Mitchell ever had with anybody, and Stanton Friedman. So I'm going to start this here at the beginning, pretty much. And we'll just go right into I believe Art Bell's first. So let's take a listen. I'll come back and interject. This is history. This is why I'm in the field. It's because of things like this. This story's phenomenal. Go.
Passed away, including the last interview with Edgar Mitchell. Third mission to the moon, sixth man on the moon. And he gave us some insight in regards to his proximity to Area 51, along with the great man himself, Stanton T. Friedman. What he states years ago, right here on Third Phase of Moon, is relevant to this day. So buckle up, everybody, and enjoy this special right here with the legends on Third Phase of Moon. Listen up.
Welcome back, Blake Cousins here at Third Phase of Moon. Wow, breaking news just in. We're going to be speaking to Art Bell. He's back live, taking callers from around the world. The world is excited. We're here with Dr. J. ANJALI, who's going to be introducing us from drjradiolive.com. Dr. J.
Absolutely. The legend is back. The king of late night radio, the godfather of paranormal radio, listed as literally the top 5 most influential radio hosts of all time. The one and only Art Bell, returning from retirement. July 20th, everybody, when this is broadcasting this coming Monday, that everybody will hear it, Monday the 20th, and we've already released the first guest. Art has already been speaking about it.
President Kennedy died. And the final liftoff of Discovery.
They are not what they claim to be.
And you are on the air.
Bring on the legend himself, Mr. Art Bell.
I hear, by the way, that Third Phase Moon puts a lot of stuff up, a lot of videos, a lot of pictures of UFOs, and lets people decide for themselves. And that's what I do too.
You know, I think that's the best way of going about this, phenomenon. Nobody could actually nail it right on the head and go, hey, this is what it is. You know, it's an unidentified flying object. Yeah, I think we're getting about 10 to 12 different UFO sightings on a daily basis. And you know what? NASA is pretty much the ones that, keep it going. They're the ones that are making the mistakes by putting the stuff out and then, again, trying to cover it up afterwards. That's what I find so funny.
I'm really glad you mentioned NASA because there was a recent video, I'm sure you have seen it, I'm sure you probably got it posted, but it shows objects, it was taken from the space station, and it shows objects leaving the atmosphere. No question about it, leaving the atmosphere and going into space. And then suddenly a little NASA thing pops up and says, something went wrong with the video feed.
You know, it's funny you mentioned that because 6 times in the last year and a half, the brothers have actually recorded NASA ISS footage being filmed, UFO footage, and then they cut the feed within 24 to 48 hours. Twice they called me and asked me if I could screen capture it for them to make it, and sure enough, the moment they uploaded it, boom, the mainstream media cuts it out.
Oh, there you go. I've had my own sighting, my unquestioned sighting, something for me, at 150 feet. I felt like I could have thrown a rocket. And my wife and I were on the way home from Las Vegas, and my wife said, "What the hell is that?" She could see it in the rearview mirror. And I pulled the car over, stopped about, I don't know, maybe a half mile from home, something like that. And we both got out of the car, looked up, and this gigantic triangular object floated directly above us. And I felt like I could have thrown a rock at it. I was in total shock. This was before the days of, easy, quick, pull the camera from your hip and take a photograph.
Sure.
Camera with me. But the next week, it turns out that a whole bunch of people in the Pahrump Valley had seen this, and they called the Air Force Base. The newspaper called the Air Force Base, and the Air Force Base said, "Oh, yes, there may have been a secret mission that overflew the Pahrump Valley that night. It was a C-130 aircraft."
Sure it was.
Oh, yeah, sure
right.
it was.
A C-130, that's a flying saucer,
That's right. It would have rattled my teeth. This thing made no sound whatsoever. It was defying gravity.
Absolutely. Art, it's incredible to hear, your close encounter. I think that's what's going to be happening. Once you go live on air, people are going to be sharing more and more what's going on. I think we're up to almost 250,000 subscribers now and 150 million views. And, I think it's not us right here at Third Phase, the base, that finds these UFOs. It's the world that have their eyes on. We got 250,000 UFO investigators out there. It's always, there's people out there.
Pretty good sighting, pretty good report from Art Bell, and amazing what he said. It reminded me of kind of what Blake and Brent said they saw, like a TR-3B type of craft, so low you could almost hit it. Phoenix Lights, people were talking about that craft, how low it was, and it was boomerang shaped or arrowhead shaped. So real interesting that Art Bell had that sighting. You almost, like, if it was anybody else, you would think that they were probably just saying they saw something, but I believe Art Bell saw something, and I'm still waiting to see my big UFO up close, not in dream state, but damn it, it's not fair. All right, next I want to do Edgar Mitchell, and then Stanton Friedman, because Stanton Friedman says some things that we could definitely touch on as what's going on today. So Edgar Mitchell.
Now let's get to the exclusive interview.
Here we
with
go.
Dr. Danny Elias and myself asking Edgar Mitchell the questions. Apparently there was a ex-CIA agent that just came out with a deathbed confession that he worked with Eisenhower to find out what was going on in Area 51. Have you ever been in Area 51? Any knowledge of Area 51 at the time while you were working with NASA?
Well, I know of it, but I don't. It's very sketchy. I do not know it in detail. And I've flown over it many times when I was still in the Navy. But it has been the site for many years of the UFO activity, and perhaps the attempt to find out our own, develop our own activities into that. Now, I am not I cannot say that I'm intimately familiar with Area 51 at all, but I've known some of the people that served there, and for example, Bob Lazar, I knew him quite well when he decided to reveal what he knew. But besides that, I'm not well informed on that.
Dr. Mitchell, we mentioned, of course, the citizen hearing, how you testified it. We've spoken to several of the witnesses, and of course the organizer, Stephen Bassett. And what Blake was just referring to, that gentleman with the CIA, was also one of the testimonies that they heard. During that 5 days, you had the 6 retired congressmen and senators who came in there, open minds but skeptics. At the end, all were convinced, and Senator Gravel has come forward now and says this happened, there is a cover-up, and we are being engaged by an extraterrestrial race. And that's basically in a court of law. If you had such testimony of such evidence, this would win over, even if you had a criminal law case with such a higher burden of proof. What do you think the importance of having such a hearing is, and do you think that this will actually lead us to something more important, such as a UN meeting on this?
Of course, I think so. I know Steve Bassett well, and I did speak remotely through Skype at that conference, and I've talked with Bassett on many occasions. And yes, we're heading in that direction. Let me point out, our planet is not going to survive forever. Neither is our sun. We're going to have to, in due course, be out of here, and we're not on a sustainable path right now. So we have to get our act together if we're going to continue living on this planet. And that means we have to emulate the ETs and be able to go somewhere else. And developing the energy sources to do that and the technologies to do that is what it's really all about these days. And that's what I am involved in as much as I can be, is doing the research and the science to help us uncover how to do that.
Wow, absolutely fantastic. Do you think that our U.S. government is knowingly hiding secret information in regards to aliens, down craft? Do they have in their possession a flying saucer and alien beings?
Well, go back to the so-called Magic 12 organization. That's what its purpose was, to hold that information and to keep it under control. And there's many, many stories of how very knowledgeable people and very high-level people were denied access to this information along the road, including Barry Goldwater when he ran for president, and President Clinton's emissary, who was sent to Wright-Patterson and couldn't get any information about it. There is a long history here of I'll just call it a cabal because that's just the word that's used, that has control of this information, has kept everybody from knowing what they don't want them to know, and that is kind of around the world. However, many countries, including Britain and Belgium and France and Brazil and Mexico, have proceeded to open up their books completely. As far as I know, our country has not.
You know, Dr. Mitchell, you mentioned that this Majestic 12, it was created by, I believe, Truman. And for basically the cover-up, is in essence, is what, as Stanton Friedman calls it, the cosmic Watergate, the truth embargo, as Stephen Bassett calls it. Through the Freedom of Information Act, there have been CIA documents going back to the 60s that actually admit to them ridiculing witnesses, making a cover-up or a story with a sighting to either discredit the witness or to say it was swamp gas or something like that. And these documents are now surfacing publicly and proving to people that obviously they knew something of this happening. What else do you know of them, of this cover-up, and with regards to...
No more than what I've just said.
Gotcha. Well, actually, go ahead, Blake.
Well, I know Edgar Mitchell he's a real busy man, and we really appreciate you coming on Third Phase of the Moon and sharing.
Pretty amazing stuff. And I put a poll in the chat room. Let's see how many people believed Edgar Mitchell saw real alien craft. So let me pull this up. 76. Let's end the poll. 76 say yeah, 24 no. Nice. Not bad. All right. That was out of 42 votes. I only had it up for a couple of minutes. But thank you for that. Yeah, I think he did. Believe it or not, even me, I think Edgar Mitchell saw either black budget project secret spacecraft or he saw, I don't know if he saw aliens, but I would think he might have. I think if anybody did, I think he and the guys who went to the moon the first time may have seen it. I don't know. I don't know. But I like to believe that when those guys came back and they had that press conference and they all looked sad, depressed, as if they were miserable. I don't know if they were told they can't say something, or maybe something happened that got wind to them and they felt a grief, or something happened. I don't know. But it's almost as if they weren't allowed to say anything. All right, I'm going to get to this because this is great as well. Stanton Friedman. Here we go.
For joining us right here at Third Phase of Moon.
It's my privilege. I may even find what third phase of the moon looks like. It means...
Nah.
All right, Stanton, let's get to it. You've been involved with this for over 54 years. What, in your opinion, is on the topic of the global cosmic Watergate and the hopeful disclosure? Do you think disclosure will ever happen?
I think the only way it will happen is if somebody like the equivalent of the New York Times or the Washington Post did what Woodward and Bernstein did to the political Watergate. In other words, devote the resources. It's real easy to blow the lid off this thing. 6 months would do it, because the evidence is overwhelming that there's a cover-up and that there are aliens visiting and so forth.
What? I have to stop this. Did you just hear what he said? There's evidence saying that aliens are visiting. Did I not hear him say that? I don't know. I'm sorry I'm yelling. Listen. This is really important shit.
Somebody like the equivalent of the New York Times or the Washington Post did what Woodward and Bernstein did to the political Watergate. In other words, devote the resources. It's real easy to blow the lid off this thing. 6 months would do it, because the evidence is overwhelming that there's a cover-up and that there are aliens visiting and so forth.
You gotta be kidding me. So what have we been doing the last 20 years, 15 years? I mean, this is, at least a decade ago. So the last 10 years, not much. A lot of things have to go in our favor. We got to have the right people in office. I don't think we can be at war. I don't think we can be. So right now, don't expect any disclosure coming in the next, year. We could say that for sure, although you never know. But that was an amazing statement. I'm going to continue this because this just gets better.
The problem is that we have a resistance on the part of the media. They think that, well, if this were true, they would know about it because it would be very important, and they don't, so it must not be, and why waste any time or money? It did take money to get Watergate out in the open, as you recall. So I'm not an optimist, and also I better surprise you, or maybe not, by saying I don't think everything should be disclosed. I think there are national security matters here. I worked under security for 14 years. Why should the United States put data out on the table, maybe new technological data, if the Russians and Chinese and others don't also put out their data? That doesn't make sense to me. You never hand your potential enemies new technology to use in case they feel like it.
Wait, why can't we put our advanced technology out in the open? I know you don't want to show your cards in case of a war or anything like that, but we might see some more UFO sightings here in the next coming months because of the war that's going on. And with the U.S. helping by sending jets over or some shit like that I heard today, we might be in a war with Russia and nobody's talking about it, because if we're helping out, maybe the Tic Tac will be used. See, that's the thing. If we're going to have this technology, what is wrong with putting it out there to let everybody in the world know, you can't do anything to us. We've got the Tic Tac. Do you understand? Shoot a rocket this way. We'll take it out in seconds. Go ahead. Try it. Or why risk a World War III and a nuclear launch if you've got the defenses to stop it? You know, how do you do that? Man, I don't know. But all right, let's take a listen. This is what I want to talk about a little bit on Goof on News later on tonight at 11. This, and I also want to go over what's inside of the trailer for Above Top Secret. So you may want to join later and hang out.
So I think we do need to recognize that a new era has begun for mankind. That is, we're not the big shots on the block anymore.
What?
And some people don't like that. No government wants its people to think of themselves as earthlings. We're still in the nationalist era, you know. And so there are real barriers to it, but I certainly don't think everything ought to be dumped out on the table. I mean, black budgets are running, depending on who you believe, $30 to $50 billion a year. There's a lot going on, and some of that is legitimately classified.
With the advent of cell phone technology and people having cameras readily available to them, we've been having mass sightings sent to us right here at Third Phase of the Moon. Do you think there might be a reason for this, and are they preparing for an invasion?
I don't, you know, it's not easy to judge how much activity is going on. I've been checking my audiences around the world for years and years, and typically at the end of my lecture, of course, I would never ask at the beginning, 10% believe that they've seen a flying saucer. But when I ask how many of you reported it, typically it's only 10% of the 10%. And the biggest reason being they think I was some kind of a nut. So it's very hard to judge what's going on. I mean, MUFON is getting 600 plus cases a month. And yet I've had people just the other day, somebody said, well, how come we haven't had any sightings recently? There's plenty of sightings. You don't hear about them. And so if there's a bump in the curve and there's some good coverage on the media, you may get other people willing to come forward. But until that happens, most of them sit back. So we don't have a very good picture at all of how much is happening all over the world. And I still get people saying, well, how come they're only seen in the United States? They're not. I've lectured in 18 other countries besides all 50 states and 10 Canadian provinces. And everywhere I go, people have seen UFOs.
Very interesting, and it is very amazing what you're saying here. You know, you broke the Roswell case in the 1970s, and there are people and eyewitnesses coming forward to this day. Do you think there are cover-ups on the crash retrievals? And, you know, what is your topic on the whole?
Well, let's face it, most of the original witnesses are dead. And if they come forward, that would be a truly remarkable event. But occasionally we get somebody new. We get somebody saying, oh, my uncle told me he's getting old and he wants, you know, doesn't want to go to his grave keeping the secret. But Roswell is still attracting big crowds at every festival, you know, early July. I'll be there this year, as I was last year and the year before and so forth. And I use it as an example. The other day I gave a talk in Texas, Laredo, Texas. And it had originally been canceled because the person in charge said, well, nobody's interested in this stuff, guys. So they canceled it. Then a good group of serious investigators down there came forward, and we had over 600 people the other day. And she was there, the one who had canceled it, and was astonished. You know, these people are all interested? Well, I will guarantee you they're all interested. And I have had as many as 2,000 people to a lecture. So don't tell me nobody's interested. And often the campus will tell me that's the biggest crowd we've had, you know, for an off-campus speaker coming here. So the interest is there. The fear of ridicule is still there. And if they stress my professional background as a scientist, working for Westinghouse, GE, General Motors, etc., and on far out classified, eventually canceled programs. That was my specialty, canceled programs, nuclear airplanes, fission rockets, fusion rockets, that sort of thing. Then they'll show up figuring, well, GE and Westinghouse don't hire nuts, do they? Well, maybe they do, I don't know. But in other words, this laughter curtain is real, and it takes a lot of effort to lift that, to get people to speak up and think up, and especially the ancient academics and fossilized physicists who think that the only place research gets done is in academia, right? Wrong. And just to give you an example, when I was working on nuclear airplanes a long time ago, in 1958 for General Electric, our budget that year was $100 million. We employed 3,500 people, of whom 1,100 were engineers and scientists. That was a lot of money for 1958, and we're not talking 3 professors and 20 grad students. We're talking 3,500 people with 1,100 engineers and scientists. So there's a lot going on. We didn't.
Where are we now? How far have we progressed to disclosure? That's what I always think of every day. How much closer are we? And sadly, we're not getting any closer. We keep spinning our wheels, and we're at a standstill. And we've been at a standstill. I had a show 10 years ago says ufology's at a standstill. It felt like it then. It feels like it now, and I'm sure it did 20 years ago, just before I checked in. And I came in just after Greer's disclosure project. But then 9/11 happened, and everything Greer did got swept under the rug. Which all seems so convenient. And I'm not saying 9/11 happened because of what Greer did. I'm saying Greer had that 400 witnesses for the Disclosure Project come up, talk, all sorts of people from, every walk of life, in every government agency and all that shit. Everybody came out. I think they set that up right before 9/11 happened. They didn't give Greer any chance at all. It's almost as if they said, yeah, you can have this NPC discussion with all your witnesses. We know what's going to happen right after you do that anyway. So people will never, ever remember you. They'll just think of 9/11 and forget about Greer. Well, nobody forgets about that. But what people do forget is what Greer did at that thing, at that NPC press, whatever the frig it is, National Press Conference. Probably one of the best things we'll ever see. Because I can't think of anything other than James Fox's documentary Phenomenon and the one before that. Those were really good. He got some people in there that said some things that were once rumor and turns out they were fact. There's only so much to say in this field. And anytime somebody comes out with something new, we talk about it and we drive it into the ground because we're so hungry for information. And nothing new seems to ever happen. You want to talk about the AOI MSG room? Good. Go ahead. Who cares? It doesn't mean anything because disclosure is not going to happen. Disclosure is only going to happen is if it's by accident, by the aliens, or somebody has evidence that we don't know of and will disclose it whenever they want. I don't know. The aliens have to do it. And that's just not going to happen. It would have already happened. It would have already happened. Yeah. So Friedman was talking about lectures in the 50s over here, 60s. What was he talking about? 50s, right? Let's continue.
Build a nuclear-powered airplane. We learned a lot about all kinds of technology. So you need to be very careful in making any kind of conclusions about this phenomenon because you don't know what's going on underneath the surface.
You know, that makes perfect sense, Stanton. You know, it's speculated. The reason for disclosure, and it no longer needs to be legal, is because, you know, all the technology is in private companies. What do you think of this, and how do you think this could be resolved?
Well, I think it's wrong on two counts. Who cares what anybody speculates about this? You can throw darts at a dartboard with yes, no, maybe on it, you know. I think most of the big research projects were done by private companies under government contract, not on their own. That aircraft nuclear propulsion program was sponsored by the Atomic Energy Commission and the United States Air Force. It was done by General Electric, Pratt Whitney, also Convair Fort Worth. But Uncle Sam owned the store, so to speak. So I don't think so. And I would hope, as a matter of fact, that technology developed with government funding should make its way out when it doesn't violate security to do so. For example, suppose we figured out a new way to detect aircraft moving in the atmosphere. Should we really be putting that out on the table? I don't think so. You don't want your enemies to have that data. So it isn't just a question of greed on the part of...
And what good does... why would we need that as citizens? We don't need that. So I could see them keeping that, you know, to themselves.
...industry. And I know from I've spoken at over 600 colleges, and I know some of the academics look down their nose at industry. I've had two different people tell me that if Roswell really happened, Stan, they'd have had to pull half the physicists out of the colleges in the country to deal with that. And I just laugh. That's absurd. Los Alamos was employing 7,000 people at that time. There are a whole bunch of other major laboratories with very competent people who had security clearances, who were readily available to have material sent to them and so forth. So, you know, it's false reasoning and based on no evidence whatsoever.
You wrote this book a few years back, Captured, about the Betty and Barney Hill abduction that fascinated me when I was a child. What's your take on the abduction phenomenon? And is...
First of all, he didn't talk about it, but I think he was touching. I don't want to hear about Betty and Barney Hill. Hold on.
Alien abductions. Frogs. And there were millions of kids who cut up frogs to find out a little about anatomy. So it's very hard to judge what's really going on. Is this a thesis project? You know, who knows? Maybe they're looking for Earthlings to graft to steal a certain kind of genetic material from. I don't know. Now, you could be a noisy negativist and say, Stan, they're going to clobber us, and they're just getting all the data before they do that. You know, like the turkeys on November 15th undoubtedly think that they're being well taken care of. Look, they get all the food they can eat, more than they can eat. You get water. They're kept warm when it's cold outside. Obviously, nice guys. And then it's Thanksgiving. Too bad. So what I'm saying is you need to be really careful about jumping to conclusions about these things. And it is important that people be helped, but not...
See, he's saying that we don't really know. If there's an abduction scenario happening somewhere all over the world, perhaps, or maybe isolated incidences, we don't really know what the aliens are thinking. You know? But abductions have been going on forever. And I don't know how many more generations of humans need to go by to further advance our demise by the aliens, but I think they would have done it already. I think they have all the data they need. Humans haven't changed in a few 100,000 years. We're pretty much this. We're this. Nothing's changed. And we don't know what the aliens are thinking. Nobody knows. Even though people who've been abducted talk about, we got to save the planet, stop advancing our technology, it's going to be our demise. Well, without technology, we don't advance. It's a catch-22. You're damned if you do, and you're damned if you don't. Well, I'd rather us do. And maybe we have a setback here and there, but at least, 2 steps forward, 1 step back. That's okay by me. Even though I'm only here for one of those steps in a 75-year lifespan, because you look at the last 50 years, our population has tripled, doubled. It's almost doubled, right? Doubled. And we've gone from black and white TV to color, to digital, to high def, to 4K, to 8K, to whatever, hologram, and virtual reality.
Not in ways that are going to create problems for them. Neither Kathleen nor I believe one should immediately rush to a friendly hypnotist. There's more to the story than that.
Now, do you think the U.S. is still controlling and imposing the global cover-up of other governments?
Well, that's a difficult question to answer. I think there is cooperation and money talks. There was a case down in Brazil, the Varginha case, and I happened to be down there when news, it hit the headlines. And there were stories that apparently the U.S. came along and offered enough money to grab the wreckage and what was left. And I don't know. I think, remember, all governments have a common interest, surprising as it may sound, in not telling us what's going on. The 6 reasons I give for the cover-up apply to all governments. First, you want to figure out how the darn things work. They make wonderful weapons delivery and defense systems, outmaneuver anything we got. So the world budget right now for things military this year is $1 trillion. So that's an important consideration for most governments. The second problem is you don't want the other guy to know that you know that he knows. What if he figures out how they work before you do? It's the old weapon, counter weapon, bigger spears, stronger shields, that sort of thing. So you can't tell anybody because you don't want them to know what you know, and you don't want to tell anybody what you know because you don't want them to know that. The third problem is if you were to make an announcement, what would happen? Say the Queen and the Pope, my 2 favorite, highly trusted people around the world, about the same age, all you can say. What if they were to say, indeed, the word is that Earth is being visited by extraterrestrial spacecraft? What would happen? Mental hospital admissions would go up. Stock market would go down. That's never good for many people. And there'd be an immediate push, I think, on the part of the younger generation for a new view of ourselves, instead of as Americans, Canadians, Greeks, Peruvians, whatever, as Earthlings. I mean, from an alien viewpoint, we are all Earthlings. We don't seem to like that very much, if you notice. No government wants that. Nobody in power wants to give up power. There's a fourth problem. Pat Robertson has loudly proclaimed that we are the only intelligent life in the universe, which I find a very strange notion. And that all this UFO stuff is the work of the devil. I haven't seen any signs of that either. But he'd be up the creek without a religious paddle if we were told the truth. There's another peculiar one, goes back to something you asked earlier. People say, look, Stan, if they're coming here and we're not going there, they're obviously ahead of us. That means that soon there'll be new methods of energy production. There goes the oil companies. New methods of ground and air transport. There goes those companies. Economic chaos. And I say, yeah, there's always chaos when there's progress, but there aren't many buggy whip manufacturers anymore, and we've survived that. The last reason for the cover-up, I think, is that I have on 7 different occasions been told of situations in which aircraft went up, military aircraft went up to chase UFOs and didn't come back. And nobody's been told about that. And if I've heard of 7 instances, there's going to be a heck of a lot more than that.
Wow, that's interesting. There's another thing that I think he broached on earlier, is the private corporations, and this is what Lou Elizondo is saying too. It's the same, it's paralleled now, even 10, 12, 15 years ago, and it hasn't changed since the 50s, even though it has a little bit because the private corporations are scaring the hell out of the military and the government because they're afraid they're going to have this technology, and if they have better technology than the government, then our government isn't the strongest on, you know what I mean? The most powerful. These private corporations are coming up with technology that may be better, and I think is better than what we have in our own government arsenal. That's scary. That means that technology can be sold to the greediest, sold to the person with the most money by the greediest people making this stuff. So we're at a tipping point, I think. I think that if the Tic Tacs are real, they of course are a threat, but they can't tell us why they're a threat. Sure, we don't know where they are or what they are, but maybe they are because it's the private corporations making it and challenging our own Navy, Air Force, pilots, etc. So it may be the private corporations that have the Tic Tac, and that's why Fravor and the boys, Alex Dietrich, Ryan Graves, Cahill, and all those others, never seen it before. Since 2004, it's a scary existence right now for our own government to know that these things may exist and they don't know what corporation may have it. Can you imagine if that's reality? That means a private company, privately funded black project company could be making this stuff and not telling the government that they have it. It's possible, but that's what Lou is scared of. Our government's scared of that. And I think that's why Lou is doing what he's doing, trying to infiltrate every single nook and cranny of the UFO community to find out if he can find out anything. Because they didn't find out anything maybe the other way, so now maybe he's going to go and pick everybody's brain. Maybe somebody will say something, and maybe if they have the AOI MSG, they get the backing by the government to go check out the other countries, see what they know. Maybe they're making handshake deals behind closed doors. Dirty Michael with the $3 Don't Eat Me Alien super chat. Thank you very much, Dirty Michael. It looks like you're in deep thought there. You're a continuing supporter of GoofOn. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Mucho gusto, generoso. Tracy Kane. I thought it was Tacey. Am I wrong? Do I have the wrong person? Well, Tracy Kane, good morning, free spirits. $5 super chat. No writing, no sticker. It's the best. It's how we like it. And she just rolled it up, put it in a little blow dart. Got it. Oh, that was a fast one. Jesus, wow. Put that one right there with that other one. Thank you very much. A continuing supporter of GoofOn, of course. Who else? Did I just click off of one? DB Cooper with a $5. Someone take Dirty Michael off the eat list. I'll see what I can do. I'll see what I can do for Dirty Michael. We'll get him off the eat list. Trust me. I was on that eat list up until a few months ago. I got off of it. I'm not off of it? Thank you, Mr. DB Cooper. Everybody, I appreciate the support. And we'll give a multiple super chat video. Well, thank you, everybody, for the super chats. The last 3, thank you from me. And good. Mucho gusto, generoso.
Yeah.
Huh?
Here.
It's weird. Oh, thank you. Now, very interesting. Very cool video. You can watch the whole thing on Third Phase of Moon. It's 45 minutes long. I know we played about 25 minutes here, but damn it, that was good. We've got so much more to go over, too. Oh my God, I didn't realize it was going to take that long. Who said that about Biden? I forget who was just talking about Biden. Hold on a second, because I've got something here. Where is it? I have something Biden here to play. I have so many things going on right now. It's not even funny. Yeah, it's not funny. I don't know what I did. That's not it. That's not it. Damn it. Hold on. I don't know. I don't know what I did. I had a link. I know it's got to be here. Oh, I got it. Okay, I got it. So somebody was talking about Biden. Like, this is crazy. Check this out. This guy, look, if he's not president, and we're going to talk about this on Goof on News at 11 p.m., about 34 minutes. But give you a little sneak peek of what I, may be talking about. Joe Biden's brain breaks at the State of the Union, calling Ukrainians, Iranians, Russian, a pound of Ukrainian people. You can build a wall high enough to keep out a vaccine, and so on.
To see the what used to be called the Rust Belt become the home of a significant resurgence of manufacturing. Putin may circle Kyiv with tanks, but he'll never gain the hearts and souls of the Iranian people. He'll never extinguish preventing Russia's central bank from defending the Russian ruble. A pound of Ukrainian people, the proud people, pound for pound, there's simply nothing beyond our capacity. Increasing the productive capacity of our economy. I call it building a better America. Stop. Because you can't build a wall high enough to keep out a vaccine.
You know the thing.
Stop the spread of these diseases. Time to see the what used to be called the Rust Belt become the home of a significant resurgence of manufacturing. Putin may circle Kyiv with tanks, but he'll never gain the hearts and souls of the Iranian people. He'll never.
Oh my God. So we're going to continue. We're going to be talking about the state of the world on Goof on Lives. And I don't know how this conversation is going to go tonight on Goof on Lives, but it's all week. I'm trying it out. Called Goof on News, Paranormal and Reality. Everything, that's going on in the world. Even if it has to do with some paranormal thing, maybe we'll talk about that. But I just want to try it out. And after the first 15, 20 minutes of the show, I may go an hour and a half instead of an hour. I will put the link out for you guys to join in, and we'll have a discussion tonight and every night this week at 11 p.m. Eastern, about 30 minutes from now. So we're done here. I want to thank the moderators, super chatters. Thank you for everything. Super freaking generous. I did not check anything here. We know we got Marie Jose Sproul and Nathan with the $3 PayPal. No message, no emoji, just thank you. Thank you too. I appreciate the support, Nathan Allen. Thank you. And everybody, veterans, newcomers, thank you for giving the show a chance. Come over to Goof on Lives in 30 minutes and see if you think it's a good idea to do. Other than that, this is Goof on tonight. I know, cutting it right at an hour and a half. Seems short, doesn't it? 2 hours seems a little longer, I mean, how stupid. It is longer, but it seems like an hour longer, not 30 minutes. But anyway, we'll be back. We are Truthology for Ufology here on Goof On. We'll be back tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Eastern. See you guys on Goof On Lives.
There's like that thing. It's rotating.
What was in the skies of and why did it sound like treasured sites in Christianity?